Hey everyone, welcome to the SER channel where I am just starting to get into making content and videos of my car that I have here. This is my engine bay. What I have is a 2006 Nissan Altima SER. Done a lot of modifications to the engine, not really internally or putting boost on it, just kind of just dressing it up and making it look nice on a budget. So come along for the ride. Let's talk about what we got going on. So, like I said in the beginning of this video, I have a 2006 Nissan Altima. It's the SER package. It does have the six-speed manual transmission, and it is a front-wheel drive, and it is a stock 3.5 DE motor. Nothing really fancy, but little history about the car. Back in what was it? I believe September. I went to a car show up in Iowa, which is called the ICC, the Ice Cream Cruise Show of 2023. And at the time, I had a 2006 Nissan Maxima that was completely dressed out. Beautiful white pearl color. It was on the nice chrome 350Z wheels, lowered. I mean, the whole car was done through. So while I was out there at the car show, I was like, you know what? Let me see what Iowa, let me see what Nebraska has to offer on cars. I've always wanted to buy a SER Nissan Altima because to me, they're rare. Not too many people have them, and some of the people that actually do, they're either beat up or they, race them. They hurt the motors. They do so many swaps, and they do this and they do that. It's just they don't look healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people out there that actually take care of these cars and actually spend money to make them look good by either doing a motor swap from like a 2012 Maxima or 13 or 14 Maxima, programming it to their car and making it look good and run faster. Unlike me, I am pretty much an all original guy. I like to keep the original engine in a car and just do modifications to it. So while I was up there at the ICC Cruise Ice Cream Cruise car show, I came across this 2006 Altima, and it was pretty much bone stock. It had the original black plastic valve covers, the all aluminum intake that comes factory, and the only thing that it had was the actual cold air intake that you see here in this picture or in this video. Um, so at the time, I didn't know that it had it. I just saw the exterior of the car on the marketplace. So I came home that weekend from Iowa, and this car was just on my mind. And I was like, man, that's a really cool car. It is a six-speed manual. It's, you know, I just wanted it, and so I messaged the lady. I said, hey, do you have the car? And she was like, yeah, I have the car. I said, what are you asking for it? She goes, I'm asking $3,000 for it. I was like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of steep for, what I wanted to pay because I did not have $3,000 cash in hand at that time. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I just go on ahead and sell my Maxima? Um, I got a really good deal on my Maxima. You guys, on my Maxima, I bought it. I bought it with a little over 300,000 miles. The car did not run. It was misfiring. Power steering pump was acting up. So I pretty much had to go through the whole car. But cutting the story short on the Maxima, I ended up selling the Maxima for $3,000 the following weekend after the um, ice cream cruise car show up in Iowa. So I sold it for 3 grand. I told the lady, I was like, hey, I'm really interested in buying, the Altima. And I said, are you firm on your price? And she was like, well, what is your offer? I said, well, would you take 2,500 for it? She goes, well, let me talk to my husband and, let me see what he says. I said, okay, well, that's good. So about 5 or 10 minutes later, she had messaged me And she goes, hey, yeah, we'll take $2,500. I said, oh, sweet. Okay, good. So I quickly went, rented a tow dolly from U-Haul, jumped in the old Ford, and tailed my ass up to Nebraska. I believe it was just north of Omaha. And I picked the car up. So on my way home, coming back from Nebraska, my buddy that owns some high-end exotic cars. Later on in the video, I'll tell you to go check out his page. He got some phenomenal cars. But he ended up calling me and said, hey, would you like to go to a car show? I was like, well, where's the car show at? He goes, well, it's going to be up in a city that's an hour away. I was like, sweet, that's fine, I'll go. I was like, I have to get this car ready. So when I got this car, you know, it it was just, there was nothing done to it other than just pretty much all bone stock. And so I hurried up and tried to get this car done as much as I can with, the little bit of money that I had left over from purchasing this car. And um, so I went on ahead and I did some work to it. I ended up, putting the valve covers on the car, the red aluminum valve covers from Amazon. Threw those on, and yeah. So what I ended up getting was from Amazon. I ended up getting the red valve covers that you see there, some new ignition coils, some spark plugs. I already had the strut bar, and again, I'm going to go through everything in this video. I got 45 minutes to tell you what I did to this car, but I already had the strut bar on the car, and so when I purchased the car, the vehicle was missing the actual front grill on the front of the car. Unknown to me, when I got up there and I didn't know this, well, the vehicle was actually backed into from the front of the bumper, broke the grill, damaged the hood, bent the radiator, and bent the core support on the car, which is the radiator core support. So I was like, well, I got a little bit of work to do. I already had the radiator in stock, or should I say as a spare part, because I work on a lot of Nissan Altimas and Maximas with the V6. I always keep extra parts on hand. So took the radiator, painted it red, threw it on after I fixed the core support. And I did that like at 10 o'clock at night outside of my garage here, just using ratchet straps, drilling certain holes as to pull and straighten everything up. And it came out really good, guys. As you can see, I mean, there's a couple spots where it's a little bit, but for the most part, I would say I got about 95% of the bend out of it. So I put this radiator in that you see here, painted it red, threw it in, put the fans on, bought the aluminum red valve covers from Amazon. I think I paid like $100 for them for the set. Got me some ignition coils for like $69, I think it was, and of course the spark plugs, which are the iridiums from Denso's. So I threw those on. At that time, I did not have that intake manifold there. It was just the stock, again, the stock aluminum, and I ended up painting that black to kind of hide some of the aluminum inside the engine bay. So once I painted the intake manifold black, I went on ahead, put the strut bar back on, and I ended up painting also the fuse box cover, but only covering up, the location of where the fuse, where it would tell you everything is at on the car. So that being said, I ended up painting the fuse box, which is right there. I painted that red. Got the car ready as much as I could, had some exhaust work. I got some burnt tip exhaust system, or burnt tip exhaust tips put on the back on the exhaust system, and that was it. I got the car ready, went on ahead, headed out to the car show. This car drew so much attention that only for the mere fact that it was a four-door with a 350Z DE motor, front-wheel drive, and it was a 6-speed manual. So Come home that night. I was talking to my buddy, the guy that owns the high end exotic cars, and sorry about the light in here, but he owns some high end exotic cars, and I was telling him, I said, man, I'm really thrilled about this car. I'm really happy on how it performed, and you know how much attention it drew, and whatnot. So I let the car rest for probably about a month. So now we're into October, because October I had to get it ready for a car show when I bought the car in October 1st. So I literally had like 20 days to get the car ready. So we had the car show October 24th, I believe it was. And then after that, I kind of just put the car on hold. Didn't do too much. I kept it bone stock, um, and just let it sit. Fast forward to probably about the month of December, I decided to start ordering parts and getting parts for this car. So I ended up getting the Rev 9 Street 2 coilovers for the car. I ended up getting the front bumper splitter or diffuser for the front. I ended up getting some LED lights for the car, and I ended up purchasing this beautiful, beautiful kinetic intake manifold for this car also. I had some downtime. I was kind of really busy working on everybody's cars and just pushing mine. I mean, if you're a mechanic and you work on cars on the side, you know that your car comes second. Your customer's car, they come next. First in line to get them done because you want to make money. So that being said, I said, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to work on nobody else's cars for like 2 weeks, and I'm going to go ahead and focus on my car because I knew we had good temperature coming, good weather coming, and I wanted to get my car done. So about a week or two ago, I said I'm done. All right, so I started working on my car. I ended up putting the Rev 9 Street 2 coilovers on my car. I ended up putting the kinetic intake manifold. I'll bring it up close to you so you guys can see how beautiful the lettering is on it. It's beautiful. I like it. I like this intake. It gives a car a little bit of extra horsepower. For some unknown reason, the car is a little bit more responsive and has a little bit more get up on it. I don't know. To me, that's just how I feel. And I've been driving this car for a while, and I kind of understand how the car operates. But there's something about the intake manifold I don't know. It's just different. So everything that I've bought to this car has been very, very, very cost effective. It wasn't expensive. It was not a lot of money. Just kind of kept it, as cheap as possible to make them look good. So now coming to the pricings, I ended up coming up with of course, the valve covers were $100 on Amazon. That strut bar that you see is actually a universal strut bar that they said that would fit an Altima or a Maxima, so that it wasn't specifically designed for just an Altima. It was designed for the Altima and Maxima both. But the difference is that where it mounts up right there to the actual tower, that piece was black. Where it's red across on the bar, that piece was blue. So what I did was I went on ahead and got me some 320 sanding paper, and I sanded up the cups that go over the towers and the bolts and the bar that goes across. I sanded all that down, took the blue off of that, I took the black off of that, not completely bare, just scuff it up, and I painted that myself. I do have a spray gun. I got an upright air compressor where I can paint my own parts. So I painted that. Went on ahead and ordered some Nismo stickers from Amazon. They were like, I think there was like 4 of them for like $9, and I put these on it. But I think it really came out really, 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 really good. I think I ended up paying $75 for that strut bar. It wasn't a lot of money that I paid for it. Moving over to the coilovers, These coilovers do belong to I believe the '04, '05, and '06 Maximas, Nissan Maxima. Now, you guys, if you guys are Nissan enthusiasts and you guys love Nissans, there are a lot of parts that could be converted over from a Maxima to an Altima as long as it has the same engine platform. It has to be a V6. A lot of the four-cylinder parts won't, like the shocks, won't be the same as the V6. So the Maximas have the same identical shocks. Okay, so as the V6 Altimas. So Rev 9 Street 2 coilovers, I picked them up from a guy that had them on a Maxima about an hour away, and I paid $100 for them. Guys, those are $499 coilovers on the internet. So I think I got a really good deal. I paid $100 for them. I installed them on the car. Had absolutely no issues whatsoever on installing these coilovers on the car, and whatnot. So I mean, they went on well. Everything checked out good on the car. Took it in, got an alignment done, perfect, perfect alignment, no issues. I love the fact that this has the actual dampening adjustment where you can go from soft to stiff on the ride. That is a great feature. So if you guys are going to ever buy any coilovers, make sure you guys have those. Just don't buy some coilovers and don't have the adjustments, because I'm telling you, you guys would love it. If it's too stiff of a ride for your car and you feel like it's too stiff, you can lighten it up and make it a lot smoother. So pretty much I have it set where I lower the car, but I have the same features as if I had it on a standard height. The ride control, the ride, and everything is just so smooth. So very happy with that purchase. Moving over to the intake manifold. Now, this is a very expensive intake manifold. If you guys really want to look it up for yourself, I'm not lying to you guys. I believe they start off about $989 for this intake manifold. Okay, that's not even including the EGR valve hose that you have to purchase if your car is equipped with an EGR valve. And I believe it was from '05 or '04 and newer. Don't quote me on this, but I think my Maxima had it. But the EGR valve hose alone, get this, it's $31 for the hose, it's $43 for shipping, and not including taxes. All in all, I think I would have spent about $80 just to get this EGR valve hose that hooks up to the side, which is right there, for my EGR valve to work properly, so I don't have a check engine light that kicks on. So I thought, well, what could I do in order to prevent from me spending that much money? Because I, for one, was not going to spend that much money for just a hose, knowing that the shipping costs more than the actual part itself. That, if it was $31 and it was $10 or $15 for shipping, yes, I would have absolutely spent the money on it and I would have bought it. But when shipping costs more than the actual part, that's where I have a problem. So what I ended up doing is I ended up going down to the junkyard and I ended up snatching the EGR valve metal hose that goes to the side of the stock intake. And I cut it and I went down to O'Reilly's. I got myself, I believe it's, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's 3/16 brake line hose, I think it's 3/16 brake line hose. Took it to a buddy of mine that does welding, and he welded the plate to the brake hose, and then I went and got what is called the EGR valve high temp hose. High temp hose that goes right there. That came off of a F250 turbo diesel. So I don't have to worry about that hose ever melting when the EGR valve starts recirculating. All right, so now talking about that intake manifold there, what I paid for it. I got a really good deal on it. I am part of a group of what is called the SER page on Facebook, and if you own an SER, I strongly suggest you to get up in there and start asking questions if you have any problems with your cars. I had a question with my coilovers because I've never owned coilovers, so I kind of was questioning on how to adjust my coilovers. That being said, um, I got a really good steal on that. I paid from a guy up in Chicago. Shout out to him. He was really nice. He held it for me for about a week until I got everything ready to go to purchase it. Cost me $43 just to get it shipped to my house and complained from a $989 intake manifold. So moving over to the battery tie down, guys, that's a $10 part from Amazon. Okay, again, you guys, everything that I have done to this engine to make it look this clean, I really didn't spend much on this car. Okay, I do have on this car, on my Altima, I do have the smoked headlights on it. Fantastic, can't go wrong. Love it. Also, the front splitter on this car, okay, this is the front splitter on this car, comes off of a 2006 and 2007 Subaru STI Impreza. You guys, I've spent many hours trying to find a good bumper splitter for this car, and I found one. I've actually found that information on the internet from a website that guy used this STI front bumper splitter or diffuser, whatever you want to call it, for his SER. It looks great. Nobody knows until I mention it that I got it off of a Subaru. Okay, so that's that. So, moral of the story that I'm getting at with this car, I'm going to go inside and show you guys here what I got going on. Moral story of this car, let me sit down here, hang on. Moral story of this car, I paid $2,500 for the whole car. I had to paint the hood on the car because I couldn't find another hood that was matching this car. So I paid, I believe it was $60 for the hood, and I painted it myself. The grill was like $75 for the aftermarket mesh grill, and I bought that off of eBay. But if you count the amount of money that I have invested into this car, as far as parts, I've only put $3,300 into this car. Keep in mind, $2,500 of that was purchasing the vehicle. So the remaining balance will show you that I really didn't spend a lot of money for this car as far as doing aftermarket modifications on it. So you don't really have to spend a lot of money to make your car look good. Okay, you really don't. And by the way, check this hat out. I had this hat made from a apparel shop nearby. I think that hat is sick as hell. I also have a shirt that was made of my car. Had it posted on or had it printed on a shirt. But that hat, guys, it's pretty cool. I like that hat. If you guys are interested in getting one of those hats, let me know. I have plenty. And I think it's, I believe it was like $10 for the hat, $10 or $12 for the hat. So if you guys want one and you guys are willing to pay for shipping, send me the money to get the hats made. I'm like 2 or 3 minutes away from the apparel shop, so I don't have to go very far to get that hat made. So if you guys, any of you fans that are SER fans and you guys want one of those hats, hit me up, send me a message, let me know in the comments, if you want one, and then I will give you my Facebook page, and you guys can go on ahead and send me a message there as well. Let me know you guys are interested in getting one of those. So, but anyways, moving on to the car. The car, I can't complain about this car. It has attracted a lot of people. The sad part of it is that I really don't plan on keeping this car much longer. I am interested in buying a right-hand side drive car, But in order to get there, I have to get and put as much as upgrades on this car on a budget to get the money that I need. So, you guys have any questions? I have a lot of information on parts that would cross over from one vehicle to the other. I know I'm very knowledgeable from brake rotors to rim size to shocks and struts, how you can modify them to make them look good. I've had lowering springs, I've had now these coilovers, just different things that if you guys have any help with your Altima or your Maxima with the 3.5 DE motors, guys, just feel free to hit me up, send me a message on, or leave me a comment, tell me that you want to speak with me privately, and I'll call you, whatever the case may be, and I kind of walk you guys through. Guys, don't, on the same token, if you have a check engine light, I'm not going to be able to do much help. I will ask you what the check engine light is. You can tell me what the check engine light, and I will tell you from my experience what I have gone through with the same check engine light and what I have done to fix it, okay? I'm not a rude guy. I'm not stingy. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, I can't help you. Take it to a shop. I'm not like that. I kind of like to help people out and, try to make them feel good about their car, make them feel good about working on your own cars, okay? So with that being said, guys, I'm not going to continue this video any longer. Just kind of keep it, little short, little simple, but I'm going to come back to the back of the car, give you guys a preview of what I have as far as the exhaust system. I'm going to get down on my floor here, but these are just some generic knockoff tips that I bought off of Amazon, so you guys can see how good that looks. And I believe these are 4-inch tips, I believe. Either 4 or 3-inch tips. I'm not going to measure them. It's really irrelevant. But how I came up with this, guys, as far as what exhaust tips I wanted, I measured from that bottom edge right there across to that bottom edge. And I was wanting to get the right exhaust tips for this car. I don't have an exhaust system a performance exhaust system. I don't have them. I am muffler delete and resonator delete, but I do have my cats. But I am going to, again, change that here within the next coming months. I'm going to do all stainless steel from headers all the way to the back. But I am going to keep these tips because I really like these burnt tips. And I'm thinking about maybe just bringing them out just a little to where they're not tucked in. They just stick out just slightly. So that's maybe a modification I might do. But other than that, guys, again, what I paid for this car was not a lot of money. $2,500, especially when I sold my car for $3,000. My Maxima, I sold it for $3,000, and I walked away paying $2,500 for this one. So everybody can do it, guys. I mean, I understand that, it costs money, but I didn't get to this engine to make it look this good within weeks. I mean, I got it in October, November, December, January, February, 4 months later. And I'm still needing to go, I still have a ways to go. I still want to take out that radiator, and I want to do the Megan Racing or the Mishimoto radiator, aluminum radiator, with changing out the hoses, the radiator hoses to the red silicone ones on this car. Cool thing is, I did get that Japanese tag on the car as well. I think that really sets it out with the red, especially with the color scheme I got going on. So, yeah. So, you guys have any questions? If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to have more content coming along the way. I'm going to be doing some driving videos. I'm going to be doing some pulls. I'm going to have a couple of my friends actually record me doing some pulls, some drive-bys on the car in future videos. So, stay tuned. And if, like I said, if you guys have any questions, just hit me up. Also, not going to forget, I did mention earlier in the video that I do have some friends that have some high-end exotic performance cars. Go check out my buddy. His Facebook page is called House of GTRs. Okay, House of GTRs. Make sure, I believe it's with the S. Okay, you'll see he owns a blue R35. He owns a midnight purple R33, and he just recently picked up a R32 fully tuned. I believe it's 630 horses to the wheels. So, and he also has what is called the Nissan Sunny truck. It's called the Hokutora truck. Sick as hell, guys. Go check them out. And if you guys do, and you guys request to be his friend and follow him on his page, make sure you guys tell him that JDM Sport sent you, so he know that it came from me. Because I told him that I was going to make this video and I was going to send him, just send him a shout out on this video here. But my page is SCR channel. You guys go on ahead and, hit the like button. If you guys like this video, have any questions or anything, subscribe. I am going to have lots and lots of content coming up here in the near future. We're going to be doing a complete photo shoot at a Nissan dealer. We just got the permission from the general manager to do that. We're going to have a guy that's going to come and do photography and also do an aerial photography, basically shooting the drone up and doing an aerial looking down at all the cars. So I'll be posting that as well on my Facebook page. My Facebook page, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and get it out the way. It's called, it's actually JDM Sport, okay? Not with an S, just JDM Sport. And you should see the picture of my SER with the Japanese tag on it. So go to my Facebook page, send me an invite, tell them you saw my video, and I'll go on ahead and add you, and then you guys can communicate with me. I have spare parts. If you guys need spare parts, just if you guys need them, and I mean, I'm not gonna charge you guys an arm and a leg for parts. I mean, I have a slew of overstock parts here that are used, that are good, because I mess with these engines daily. So I'm constantly having parts leftovers, from ignition coils to intake manifold, the stock ones, to, I mean, you name it. Every sensor on this car, I have it all. Throttle bodies, yeah. So feel free to hit me up on my Facebook page called JDM Sport. Also, again, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe. Go on ahead and hit the notification bells, because I do have more content coming. Also, I do a lot of work on Nissan engines. As you can see, real quick, before I end this video, I'm going to come over here and bring you to this beautiful Nissan 240SX that I'm working on currently. Customers state the car is not firing on the cylinders. I believe his problems is right here on the spark plugs. He has some Bosch spark plugs. I think they just quit on him. But I won't know anything of that until tomorrow. I'm actually going to be making a video of that as well. I'll be putting that on my Facebook page, and I'll be putting it on this website as well, just to create some extra content for you guys on my SER page. Again, go check out my buddy, House of GTRs, guys. You guys, it will not disappoint you when you guys see this man car. I swear to God, I have driven 3 of the 4 that he owns. I'm telling you, it's a badass setup that he has. So go check him out. Tell him that JDM Sport sent you, and that you saw my video on on YouTube. But he's gonna have some content. He has some videos. He has, I mean, you name it. Go check him out, guys. All right. That being said, thank you. Thank you for taking time out listening to me. Again, it's not about how much money you spend on parts. It's how you budget and how you control your money to make it look this good. You guys take care, and until the next time.